On Christmas Eve, 1971, a 17-year-old girl fell out of the sky. No parachute, no rescue, no plane around her. Just a teenage girl, still strapped to her seat, falling thousands of meters toward the Amazon rainforest. And somehow, she survived. But the fall was only the beginning. Her name was Juliane Koepcke. She was flying home for the holidays with her mother. It was supposed to be a normal flight, a short trip from Lima to Pucallpa, Peru, a family Christmas, a reunion with her father. Nothing about that day was supposed to become a survival story, but somewhere above the Amazon, everything changed. Juliane and her mother were on LANSA Flight 508. The plane was flying over the rainforest when it entered a violent thunderstorm. The sky outside turned dark. The aircraft began to shake. Lightning flashed around the windows. Passengers panicked. Bags fell. People screamed, and Juliane sat beside her mother as the plane flew deeper into the storm. Then lightning struck. The aircraft was hit, and in seconds, the plane began to break apart in mid-air, not during landing, not on a runway, but high above the jungle, thousands of meters above the trees. The right wing was torn away. The cabin came apart. Wind exploded through the aircraft. Seats ripped loose. Metal twisted. People were thrown into the sky. And Juliane later remembered the chaos around her, the roaring wind, the spinning, the screams. Then suddenly, there was no plane. She was falling, still attached to her seat, alone in the sky. Below her was not a road, not a field, not water. Below her was the Amazon rainforest, a massive green ocean of trees, endless, thick, and almost impossible to see through. Juliane fell from around 3,000 meters. A fall like that should have killed her instantly. Most people would never survive, even a fraction of it. But somehow, her seat may have slowed her fall. The trees may have broken part of the impact, and the jungle that was waiting below became the only reason she had any chance at all. Then, everything went black. When Juliane opened her eyes, she was on the forest floor. The sky was above her. The trees were everywhere. The plane was gone. Her mother was gone. The passengers were gone, and Juliane was completely alone. She was still alive, but she was badly hurt. Her collarbone was broken. One eye was swollen. Her knee was injured. She had cuts on her body. She had lost her glasses, and without them, the world around her was blurry. She tried to understand what had happened. She looked for wreckage. She called for her mother. She searched nearby, but no one answered. There were no voices, no rescuers, no other passengers calling back. Only insects, rain, birds, and the sound of the rainforest. Most people think surviving the crash was the miracle. But for Juliane, surviving the crash only meant she was now trapped in another nightmare. She was 17 years old, injured, alone, without food, without a map, without a radio, and lost inside one of the most dangerous forests on Earth. Above her, the jungle canopy was so thick that even if search planes flew overhead, they might never see her. From the sky, she was just one tiny person, hidden beneath endless trees. But Juliane was not completely helpless. She knew something most people would not know. Her parents were biologists. She had grown up around the rainforest. She had learned how the jungle worked. She knew the forest was dangerous, but she also knew one rule that could save her life. If you find water, follow it, because small streams lead to larger streams. Larger streams lead to rivers, and rivers can lead to people. So Juliane started walking, weak, injured, hungry, and alone. She found a small stream and followed it, step by step, hour after hour, day after day. She did not try to cut straight through the jungle. That would have been even more dangerous. The Plants were too thick. The ground was too hard to read. Snakes and insects could be hidden anywhere, so she stayed near the water. The stream became her path, her guide, her only direction. Sometimes she heard planes above, her search planes, people looking for the crash, people looking for survivors. But the trees were too dense. She could hear them, but they could not see her, so she kept moving. She had almost nothing to eat. At one point, she found a small bag of candy from the wreckage. That was all. No real meals, no shelter, no medicine, just a teenage girl walking through the Amazon, trying to turn a stream into a way home. At night, the jungle became even worse. The darkness covered everything. Animals moved nearby. Insects crawled over her. Rain soaked her. Every sound felt close. Every shadow felt alive. And every morning, she woke up weaker, but she kept following the water because stopping meant dying. Days passed. Her wounds got worse. Her body became weaker. The cut on her arm became infected. Bugs gathered around her. Injuries. Pain followed every step, but Juliane kept moving. One day became 2, 2 became 3, then 4, then 5. Still no rescue, still no people, still no way out. Only the river, only the forest, only the hope that if she followed the water long enough, it would lead her somewhere. Most people would have waited. Most people would have panicked. Most people would have stayed near the crash, hoping someone would find them. But Juliane understood the truth. In that jungle, waiting could mean disappearing forever. So she walked for days, through mud, through water, through pain, through fear. She kept going because the forest gave her no other choice. And then, after days alone in the Amazon, Juliane saw something that changed everything. A boat. At first, there were no people, just a boat near the riverbank. But after everything she had survived, that boat meant one thing. Humans had been there. She was close. Nearby, she found a small shelter. She was too weak to keep going much farther. So she waited, and eventually, local men arrived. They were stunned. They had heard about the plane crash. They knew people were searching, but no one expected a teenage girl to walk out of the Amazon alive, not after falling from a plane, not after days alone, not injured, not starving, not like that. They helped her. They cleaned her wounds. They gave her food. They took her to safety. And the world finally learned the impossible truth. Juliane Koepcke had survived. She had fallen from the sky. She had landed in the Amazon rainforest. She had walked alone for days, and she had come back, alive. But there was another truth waiting for her, a painful one. There were 92 people on that plane. Juliane was the only survivor. Her mother did not make it. The passengers did not make it. The crew did not make it. Only Juliane came out of the forest. That is what makes this story so unbelievable. She did not survive because the crash was easy. She survived because after the crash, she made the right decisions. She followed water. She kept moving. She used what she knew, and she refused to stop. Most people would think the fall was the nightmare. But for Juliane, the real nightmare began after she survived. The sky tried to kill her. The crash tried to kill her. The jungle tried to keep her. And somehow, she walked out. Years later, Juliane returned to biology. She studied nature. She worked with animals. She spent her life connected to the same rainforest that had almost taken everything from her. And she understood something most people would never understand. The jungle was terrifying, but it also saved her. The trees that hid her from rescue may have softened her fall. The forest that trapped her also gave her a path, and the water that seemed small and quiet led her back to the world. Juliane Koepcke fell from the sky, landed in the Amazon, and survived alone. Not because the world was kind, but because she knew how to keep moving. And that is why this story belongs in The line files.